What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. My name is Lucas Wenzel, and today we are talking 10 players that you should be looking to stash ahead of this weekend slate and ahead of next week's waivers as well. But before we dive into that list, if you've battled your way this far, you deserve a prize fit for a champion. So why not enter Trophy Smack's Ultimate Fantasy Football Championship Belt giveaway? To qualify, simply subscribe right here to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel and comment on any video this week. This custom championship belt isn't just a reward, it's a testament to your strategic prowess and season-long dedication. Make your victory unforgettable with Trophy Smack's ultimate symbol of fantasy football supremacy, and while you're at it, turn on notifications so you can be alerted when our new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Kicking off our list this week is Miami Dolphins running back Jeff Wilson Jr., who's rostered in 9% of leagues. This is a matter of hopeful opportunity for Wilson. He's buried down on the team's depth chart, but as of this recording, Raheem Mostert is still dealing with an ankle injury, and Devon Achane is managing a toe issue. Both missed practice earlier this week, and if either sit out, there's going to be opportunities for Jeff Wilson to mix in. This week is a tough draw against the Ravens, but we're looking ahead to week 18 as well, and the Dolphins get a more favorable matchup with the Buffalo Bills to wrap out the season. Second on our list is DJ Chark, Carolina Panthers wide receiver, who's rostered in 8% of leagues. Bryce Young turned in his best performance of his rookie season in week 16, and DJ Chark was the main beneficiary. He caught 6 of his 8 targets for 98 yards and 2 scores, leading to 27.8 PPR fantasy points. Obviously, that has not been the typical for Chark this season, but looking at his final 2 matchups of the season, there's potential he's fantasy relevant. This week he draws the Jags, and in week 18 he gets the Buccaneers. Both teams have been top 12 in fantasy points allowed to wide receivers over the second half of the season. If you're in a deeper league and need an upside wide receiver stash, DJ Chark is a solid option. Up next is Cincinnati Bengals running back Chase Brown, who's rostered in 18% of leagues. Our main focus for running backs is going to be getting those handcuffs stashed, because nothing would be worse than losing Joe Mixon, who's the RB9 in PPR formats this year for the Fantasy Championship. There's no real standalone value here for Brown, but he has caught 2 to 3 passes in each of his last 3 games. If anything were to happen to Joe Mixon against the Chiefs this week, Chase Brown would step into a sizable role in this Bengals offense, and if you're eyeing the championship with Joe Mixon, it's best to get his insurance policy now. Coming in next is Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the New York Giants, who's rostered in 3% of leagues. Slayton has been on the field a ton over the last 3 weeks, playing at least 93% of the snaps in each game. He also put up double-digit fantasy points in 3 of his last 5, including 2 outings with 18-plus points. He hauled in 3 of his targets for 90 yards and a score in week 16, and he'll look to keep that momentum rolling with Tyrod Taylor into week 17. Even looking ahead to week 18, the Giants draw the Rams and Eagles in their next 2 games, and this is another pair of teams that are top 12 in fantasy points allowed to wideouts over the second half of the season. Pieces of this Giants offense really aren't all that fun to roster, but there's big playability here with Slayton, and he could end up being a decent stash with the schedule he has coming up. The next player on our list is Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back Chase Edmonds, who's rostered in 1% of leagues. Edmonds received a season-high 10 carries in week 16, but only turned it into 25 yards. I'm not interested in Edmonds for standalone value, though, because it's clear that he's Rachaad White's direct backup. Considering Rachaad White is the running back 3 in PPR formats this year, losing him in week 17 before your week 18 championship would be a massive blow. Therefore, we are going to get his handcuff locked down now, because if something were to happen, it would be a mad dash to the waiver wire, and you can be 2 steps ahead of your league mates by stashing Edmonds now. Before I get to my top 5 waiver stashes for week 17, we want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise than may be available in your area. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp. Click the link in the description of this video or go to betterhelp.com/fantasypros. Our final defense and special team stash of the year for the fantasy playoffs is the New England Patriots. They're coming off a stellar fantasy day against the Broncos, where they totaled 5 sacks, forced 3 fumbles, and recovered 1 of them for a touchdown. Now you're not going to pick them up and play them against the Bills this week. We're looking ahead to week 18, where they draw the New York Jets. We all know the Jets offense is one of the worst in the league this year, and considering the Patriots held them to only 10 points earlier this season, a similar performance could be in the making at Gillette Stadium this time around. Our next stash is Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Greg Dortch, who's rostered in 5% of leagues. Dortch has scored double-digit fantasy points in 3 of his last 5 games while posting 3 top 35 finishes at the position. Marquise Brown continues to struggle with his heel issue, and Dortch gets an opportunity to step up in 2 phenomenal matchups to close out the season. In week 17, he gets the Eagles, who have given up the 4th most fantasy points to wideouts over their last 4 contests. And in week 18, he gets the Seahawks, who have given up the 11th most. This is not the sexiest stash in the world, but considering there's not much season left, we're looking for players who have flash upside and draw good matchups. It just so happens that Greg Dortch fits that bill. The next handcuff we're going to talk about is San Francisco 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell, who's rostered in 12% of leagues. Mitchell has made this list before, and it hasn't been for standalone value. Christian McCaffrey dominates this backfield, we all know that. But Elijah Mitchell is back and healthy, making him a premier handcuff stash. If anything were to happen to CMC, Mitchell would take on a massive role in this explosive 49ers offense. As always, we never wish for injury, but with your championship hopes on the line, it's best to have your insurance policies locked in now before you're vying with others on the waiver wire. Let's move on to our next stash, which is Brandon Johnson, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, who's rostered in 0% of leagues. Now I know this is an incredibly tough sell with Jared Stidham at quarterback now, but as of this recording, Courtland Sutton is still in concussion protocol. In his absence, Johnson played 68% of the team snaps and recorded 3 catches for 47 yards, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion. He draws the Chargers and Raiders in his final 2 games of the season, and if Sutton can't get out of concussion protocol, Brandon Johnson inherits a decent role rest of season in this Broncos offense. Our last stash of the season is going to be Buffalo Bills running back Leonard Fournette, who's rostered in 4% of leagues. Lenny logged 5 carries on Sunday for 20 yards, but what's more significant is that previous backup Latavius Murray wasn't given a single rushing attempt in week 16. It seems as though the Bills have handed Leonard Fournette the backup role to James Cook, and he was even stuffed short at the 1-yard line where he could have added another 6 points onto his final total. Primarily though, this is a handcuff stash for James Cook, who has been getting fed since Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator. If anything were to happen to James Cook against the Patriots this week, Fournette would be a top waiver wire add before week 18, and like I've said all season, you can stay ahead of the curve by stashing him now. Alrighty y'all, that is all I have for you today. Remember, if you've battled your way this far, you deserve a prize fit for a champion, so why not enter Trophy Smack's Ultimate Fantasy Football Championship Belt giveaway? To qualify, simply subscribe right here to the FantasyPros YouTube channel and comment on any video this week. This custom championship belt isn't just a reward, it's a testament to your strategic prowess and season-long dedication. Make your victory unforgettable with Trophy Smack's ultimate symbol of fantasy football supremacy. And while you're at it, turn on notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to come claim your prize when we announce it.